the final best of 3 of the night. It is going to be Heart against NesTea.
Yeah, Terran versus Zerg. Before we head into the game, of course, a quick look at the last result of the last game, and also the next opponent of Shine was able to win against Jungvi. It's going to be SOS.
Yep, and whoever wins that match will finally come up against Flying versus MVP. Whoever wins that plays against either Shine or SOS. You know, actually, when you look at this type of, like, I like how GOM puts this up like this rather than an actual bracket. It looks like really simple. It's almost like a list or a timeline.
Yeah, it looks really pretty straightforward. And I'm really excited for not only the game between Shine and SOS, but also for our next match here at the first round of Code A.
Yeah.
Heart versus NesTea is, to me, just this epic match between... You said good and evil. And
I mean, that sounds cliche, but it's. I feel like that's how the fans of both players feel.
Yeah. And also, it's just like... It's a perfect match to end this day. We have a Code S caliber game between the Complexity player and, of course, LGIM's NesTea. So many people were happy when he was able to win a Code A qualifier bracket and advance to a Code A. Everyone was just... nobody could believe it. I mean, the guy dropped out of Code S and suddenly he's in Code A, drops out of Code A, and everyone's like, whoa, what's happening here? But now he is back to business.
Yeah, back to business indeed. Look at these two players' records. NesTea, with a whopping 83 games played, still has over 61% win ratio. Look at that picture of NesTea even. His opponent, on the other hand, his win record dropped below 50%. He hasn't even played 30 games in total. But to be honest, this guy snipes people. He kills strong players. He's a dangerous opponent. And often people call him a villain because he loves to all in.
You know, I was afraid when NesTea dropped out of Code A. I actually looked at this and like, okay, he mentioned several times that he feels a little bit old.
Yeah, a little bit tired.
A little bit tired. And I was really afraid that he just decided, okay, well, listen, what, I'm not going to compete on that level anymore. I'm not even going to try. Then he practiced for the Code A qualifier like crazy. He was able to get into Code A again. And for me, this was really a relief. I want to see him compete. I want to see him up against the best players in the world. I'm so happy that I'm here casting him with you. NesTea up against Heart. Zerg versus Terran here at the Code A round 1. GSL losing my thought here, guys. I'm overwhelmed.
We are day 2-2 of the round of 48 of Code A. It's time for the final best of 3. NesTea versus Heart. See you in game number 1.
Over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the way like it's a stadium.
To the right side of the map, the Complexity Terran in red. It is
Complexity Heart.
Playing here on Antigua Shipyard. Heart in the up and downs here was not able to get into Code S.
Yep, and he is up against this LGIM Zerg. He is so well known. Big fan favorite. He is
LGIM NesTea.
He had to win against Lure in the final of this bracket, the Code A qualifier, and didn't drop a single map against his opponent. If you just look at the games that he played at WEM, he had to face his own teammate, he had to face MVP, and he won. He took the game, lost the matches in Code A and Code S against Sparta and Supernova, though, so when he comes down to his matchup against Terran, he's not really shaky, but you never know what exactly, how NesTea is going to perform against the Terran, I feel.
Yeah.
And, well, Heart is someone who can play the very aggressive style, he can play a very all-inish style, but he's also someone who is good at the late game.
Now, you notice NesTea takes over 70% of the winner prediction here. You can see the map record is placed up here as well. Look at that. For Heart, that's a pretty abysmal record, 2-8. And that's actually a really relevant stat. Sometimes you see map records of 2-1 or 1-0, and it doesn't seem very relevant. But in this case, 2-8. That means he actually does very poorly on this map.
Yeah, and NesTea is, of course, a Zerg that's facing a Terran, so usually you would expect it to be the other way around on a map like this. Antigua Shipyard, we went over the specifics of this map in an earlier matchup. mention that one of the things that you have to deal with as Zerg players, for once, the center of the map, where the Terran usually tries to establish a very strong position to control the map, and the fourth base that's so hard to take for you. But NesTea here might find an angle how he can deal with Hard, and Hard is going for the expansion here. One barracks into expand, no gas just yet.
No gas at all.
Gonna add it soon.
Oh man, this is so intense. Hart is actually playing. He made a command center, and he is going to just play this game from the beginning here into. He's extending himself into the later game. He's taking his gases. He's going to go probably for a Hellion follow-up here. It's exciting and refreshing to see NesTea play in the booth again. I haven't seen him in the GSL in a really long time. In fact, he does not even very often play for LGIM these days because their team is so stacked.
Yeah, and this is a funny story about LGIM in the Team League is really that even though their team is hosting so many champions, they are once again out. They lost already. They are not part of the competition anymore. At the weekend, we have the semi-finals. Don't forget about that. We have 4 remaining teams in the GSTL Friday and Saturday. The semi-finals, make sure to tune in for those. This is going to be really great. But the match at hand is not gonna, it's gonna be epic as well. We currently have the speed upgrade here for NesTea. On a map like Antigua, you can go for a fast third base. You can stick it out with no gas, just relying on the minerals, going for additional queens, neglecting the speed upgrade a little bit. You have to really spread the creep between your base if you want to do it. But if not, then speed is always a good option. And he is still mining gas, which is really important here.
Yeah, he's keeping it up. He may put on some aggression. This is exactly what Hart's checking for here. And now he sees no hatch, he's going to be a little bit concerned. NesTea right now is adding actually the last 10 drones he may add if he's going to go for aggression here.
Yeah.
And if not, he's going to send a drone over. Wow, indeed.
Look at that. Yeah, I mean, he could have gone for a little bit of a fast attack if he wanted to. Could have pulled the seal, but he decides to go for a very fast lead tech nonetheless at the 6-minute mark, starting with his tech. And this is going to be very interesting. There are several options of what he can do. He can go into Infestors, can then get into the third base, which is a bit of a faster, sorry, not a faster, of a safer third. But usually, with a timing like this, you really want to go into Mutalisks. And NesTea plays a little bit greedy here, droning up like a monster, getting 3 additional Vespene geysers. The creep spread is okay, but not the best.
Yeah, he's not connected between his bases, but
the Baneling Nest here, I mean, he can, he can build the Baneling Nest just as a defense.
Yeah, he's got to make the Baneling Nest because otherwise, if anything walks across the map, he's just going to die because he's got nothing to defend. He's made only drones.
I still expect the Spire.
Yeah, we've got to see it. There it is, indeed. Wow. NesTea wants to put on the aggression. NesTea is the Muta Master, actually. He is the Zerg who played Mutas after Mutas fell out of style. They came back into style, but NesTea was like, no, I never quit on Mutas.
I really want to know, Hard is known to be such an aggressive gamer. And now he has only 4 Hellions. NesTea sees the Hellions, he produces a few Zerglings, he also gets Banelings. And with the Banelings, he can just wait at the ramp, wait for them to appear, and then try to take them down. But if Hart does not scout, and if Hart is actually playing this too greedy, this could... Wow, first of all, I love this creep here, by the way. I mean, this is epic. Yeah, he's blocking the base with creep. What? The third? With the queen? Spreading tumors to the top?
I'm actually just speechless watching this. This is like when NesTea went for a fast lair and then made spine crawlers to kill a Protoss doing a forge fast expand. This is creativity at its finest. I've never seen something quite like this before. Not on this map, at any rate.
Yeah.
Wow.
This grants him vision. He forces scans, and now he completely occupies Hard. Hard doesn't even know about. Could you please double check if he scanned?
I don't think he...
This is a little bit... to me, this is kind of unbelievable. Hard has no idea what's going on, and you can see his vision here. He has no clue what's going on. He doesn't know about the third.
He's going to see Scream like, oh my god! For a second, he probably had a heart attack. He thought NesTea's creep was all the way across the map.
Hard sees what's going on now and moves back. And, well, we have the third base ready for NesTea. He has Banelings. He's going for Baneling speed. He has a decent creep strip in his bases. The Mutalisks are moving out. NesTea is playing a pretty crazy game here. I like it.
He may need to morph. Oh, he's going to lose some Mutas though.
Oh my god.
And he needs some more Banelings, because even though he's about to have Baneling speed, he doesn't have that many Banelings. He only has 3. He needs a lot more than 5 more, I think.
Yeah, those Mutalisks is something that he really needed in the game. He needs to be careful and he needs to stay at the top of the ramp.
Oh, wow, the Banelings may just connect. That was so close. Oh, this is not looking good for NesTea. He's dropping in supply. Nice micro by Heart so far.
He needs to take down those Marines and he doesn't have enough. Oh, he doesn't have enough Mutalisks. Those 3 that he lost, that was really a big problem. But still, he is definitely
He's hanging on.
This.
Yeah, he's got 24 Lings on the way.
This creep spread here at the top is just the most important thing for him right now. He's delaying this third for so long.
He has to kill all of those Trimmers, and if he misses just one... Okay, he got them all. If he missed just one, then he would have lost the ability to kill that, or to land that command center later. Even though he's killed, it's going to take a long time for that creep to recede as well.
Is the queen still there? It is, right?
I mean, think so, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, he's placing down new creep tumors. This is just crazy.
I find it just so creative. The Viking is out to be annoying, pesky. As the first overlord of many, he will clear off the map.
That's not on Reddit in like 2 minutes. I don't know what.
Well, here we go. The NesTea actually wants to pick a fight on the watchtower.
And NesTea, I feel his engagements could have been a little bit better. His unit control when he lost those Mutalisks. If you have only 6 of them, you don't want to lose 2 or 3 in the middle of the map. Especially when you saw the army move out thanks to the creep tumors at your opponent's third. Yeah. That was actually a very weird sentence for me to say.
Yes, it was, but it came out nicely. Don't worry. Don't fret.
Now right now, Heart's attack upgrade already on the way for NesTea's Mutalisks.
Yeah, it's very quickly getting those out. Now, Heart's not really going to fret anymore either. He has cleared that creep completely off. The Queen is actually able to escape miraculously.
And putting down another creep tumor.
Yes. And now Heart is getting ready to move across the map a little bit. His base is secured. And he's eliminated so many Mews, he doesn't really have to be concerned about them backstabbing him here.
He's just droning up. NesTea is still on 3 bases with a 72 Harvester position.
This Viking is in a bad spot.
This is why I don't build Vikings against Mutalisks if you don't have Thors or missile turrets to back them up.
Or if you have a 1 to 10 Viking to Muta ratio, it's pretty bad as well.
That might have to do something with it.
Yes, certainly. Heart at this point has a very late third, and now that he is... he's kind of set up in the middle of the map. NesTea decides, let me poke around here, see what I can find. The Mutas come in uninvited, and they leave without taking party favors.
More and more Mutalisks now being built for NesTea. He's playing a very Muta-heavy build, which is something that we don't see all that often anymore, especially in this matchup. But this drop play that has just been spotted is hitting at a very decent time.
He missed several of his mules. They're not mining here. There's a drop in the main base. He actually could target down the spawning pool if he wants it. He goes for Overlords instead.
He kills Overlords, and here comes the Mutalisks. 18 Mutalisks are on their way back, and the Zerglings help out too. The spawning pool is not going to die yet.
Yeah,
very close though.
92 hit points left on it. Meanwhile, during this attack, Heart was very positional. He went and cleared off those tumors once more with his Marines. Now he set up a full wall at his third.
As much as I love this creep spread at the third phase of Heart, by the way, I feel that NesTea could have done a little bit better with the creep that he has at the bottom left.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely correct here. He's multitasking a lot, though, making sure he hits those upgrades out, spreading creep in 2 different locations at once, keeping that Queen alive, and at the very least, defending the drop in the main base.
He definitely has a very long to-do list in this game, and he's doing a great job, but with the creep spread at the bottom, he could have stopped this push, or at least delayed it a little bit. But his Mutalisk ratio is awesome, and now he's using it to hit the third base. This missile turret is not standing a chance. Boom, down, bye-bye.
Yeah, turret is down, and NesTea actually goes into the middle line doing a ton of damage to this.
I feel the Terran player is having a heart attack here watching those Mutalisks take the SCVs apart.
Yep. And
he's really having a hard time.
Yeah, he really is having a hard time, and in fact, I think with the +2 on these Mutas, Heart, he just can't even deal with them. He's actually decided he wants to walk across the map instead.
needs
What is
Thors.
he's not even attempting to deal with them anymore. He gave up.
He really needs Thors. He only has a few missiles.
He could turn around and fight those Marines.
Exactly, he could turn around now. There are so many stims already that Hard has to hit here. So if he turns around, NesTea that is and attacks the Marines, I don't think the Bioforces of Terran player would stand a chance here.
These Marines are dead.
With the +2 attack upgrade, yeah, definitely. And now the armor upgrade is also being researched. NesTea on 200 supply against 130 for the Terran.
NesTea is back, and he's here for blood. The Mutalisk flock comes in again. 17 of them in this ball. Yeah, NesTea may be supply blocked, but he's at 192 versus 145. He kills more SCVs. The Thor is out. It's necessary.
But there's
he
only one.
Yeah, and he just avoids and he goes for more here. More SCVs going down. NesTea has killed 42 SCVs, 44, 45.
He's just dancing around his opponent's army. He's taking down Harvester after Harvester and not neglecting his hive tech. A little bit late, maybe could have done it earlier, but now he's everywhere, hitting the third, hitting the main, hitting the natural. The Thor is just trying to keep up, but he's just way too fat and slow.
Yeah. Thor
this Thor needs to gym it up a little bit. He needs to do more cardio, get a little bit more mobile.
Absolutely.
Right now, it is way too sluggish.
Yeah, and in fact, if I were Hart right now, I would make him run laps. But at this point, NesTea has total map control. The one thing, again, that he's really lacking is creep spread. He doesn't have the creep very far spread, and his lings are all off creep.
Man, I can see that Thor running from the natural to the main to the third, and at some point just completely collapsing.
It just falls apart like a mule.
Yeah, falls over like a heart attack. It's like, oh my god, it's too much for me.
Yeah, I think that may actually occur here if NesTea doesn't kill him first. When he sees
system overload.
Yeah, when he sees this army coming, he's probably going to have a heart attack.
Well, now we have, look at how many banelings we have for NesTea, 47. This is old school style that he's playing.
Yeah. You know, one of the top killers actually in the world are heart attacks. One of the top heart killers are NesTea attacks, and NesTea's mutas are going for blood here. They pick off more depots.
Terran players got so good at dealing with Mutalisks, but Hart is kind of falling apart. He didn't expect this at all.
Yeah, he's just, you know, there was a moment where he just gave up.
NesTea could turn around.
He can fight it.
These Marines, the Mutalisks are upgraded with 2 attack upgrades and 1 armor upgrade. The Marines with like 10, 20 hit points, they don't even pose a challenge to NesTea.
Here we go. Banelings and Zerlings want to engage here, but the tanks, there's too many of them. There's 13. NesTea may have played with his food a little bit too much here because he's allowed Hart to remax once more. And that's a scary Terran army with 13 siege tanks on the map.
I don't understand why NesTea is just not killing these Marines.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Investors come in. The tanks were unsieged.
The tanks unsieged. The Marines gone. And he can just go into the Mutalisk if he wants with a good target fire. Those Marines might take down a few air units. But, okay, the reinforcements are already present.
The reinforcements are pretty scary here. There's a lot of siege tanks. The Marine count still at 43, and that seems to be NesTea's unlucky number at this point. He's running into the third base. NesTea's economy is hurting. He has very little gas left.
102 circlings on the production tab. Plus 3 attack being built. The Mutalisks having a bit of a hard time against the Thor.
He needs to actually figure out exactly how to poke Hart next, because he needs to kill this army, and then he can't fight with his mutas, so he needs to use those lings to kill this army. But will he actually run in right now? With the Lord support?
Are hitting the third again, and now the Marines are being attacked. This time NesTea is staying to fight. He takes down the Marines one by one, but he needs to get rid of this main army.
His base is going to go down. He's losing his hatchery here. NesTea's economy is shot right now.
But the same is also true for his opponent, and NesTea still has 1,700 minerals. At least he can reinforce with Zerglings if he wants to.
Very true. NesTea lost a ton of Muse. Now he's only down to 9.
And he has another base to the left side of the map.
Yeah, consider that as well. And Hart, I don't think he knows about that base.
No, he doesn't.
No idea. He has no vision of this base, so how is he going to punish NesTea? NesTea is going to have to sneak some drones over there, covert style.
And, you know, we have a lot more Vikings now being built, but a big problem for Hart is really that he doesn't have the economy with 30 SCVs left. NesTea, on the other hand, lost a fair amount of drones himself. He's down to 41.
This Marine is a bully. Uh-oh. Hart found the base.
Yeah, now he knows.
What is NesTea going to do to defend it? I just don't think he can. This Heart army is too strong to fight. The Broodlords are going to be too slow. They won't be able to help out and get into position. Now, Heart sets a great defensive position here and sends in just enough units to kill the hatchery. Then he's going to get back and fall back to the siege tanks. Uh-oh, this Viking. Well, it was only one, but he did lose it there.
The base of the left side is shut down. Heart is exploiting what so many Zerg players fear. The mobility of a bio playing Terran player with tank support, taking down the bases. And at this point in time, NesTea is still struggling. He looked like unbeatable in the mid game with all these, mutals. But now, can Heart win this? There are Broodlords, there are Infestors. He has a few mutals left to back them up, and 104 Zerglings for the ground.
104 indeed. And NesTea he's got this composition now built with the Broodlords and the Infestors present. It used to be just Ling, Baneling, and Muta, but now he's got all the tricks up his sleeve. He's even got the Queens walking across the map now. This is a scary army Heart has to face, and like you said, he doesn't really have the bank. The same could be said of NesTea right now. Both players, 39 Harvesters to 38. This is such a close game economy-wise.
Yeah, it is. We have NesTea and Heart on nearly even supply, and another drop attempt by the Terran player for Complexity Gaming.
Yeah, there's not enough actually at home to defend. This could be devastating.
This could be this could be the end of NesTea's tech.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There are a few Zerglings available, and it's not enough.
It's not enough, and he is going to lose the Infestation Pit 100%.
He's probably going to lose a lot more.
Yeah, I think so. The spine goes down. NesTea is trying to figure out if he wants to turn around.
NesTea is dropping in supply.
NesTea certainly is, because he's trying to kite with his Broodlords to do the damage, then protect them with the Corruptors, but he has nothing. Nothing at all to protect his main base. He's, I think, just going to sack it. No, he comes back. Well, awesome indecision here, and the Broodlords are exposed. Where are the Bungles?
There they are. It is fungal time, and the Zerglings, they stream back to the top right. The bottom left is all but forgotten. We have NesTea now just going for it. Heart is dropping in supply, but so is NesTea.
The Banelings, though, connecting not on Marines, but on mech units instead. NesTea takes the supply lead, but he's bleeding out. His Greater Spire is going to go down here.
He's losing a lot.
He can't make
way
any
too
more
much at the bottom left.
He lost his Infestation Pit.
He's trying to finish it now.
This is a clash of... it's basically a very slow elimination race, potentially, here. The units are getting... The hit points of the Marines are getting really low, whereas NesTea's army looks as strong as ever up here at the front.
And now Heart is lifting his command center. He's trying to utilize the mobility of Terran, flying those buildings to the next position, and the bottom left is completely taken apart. NesTea needs a few banelings on the high ground.
Yeah, he needs...
the third base, of course.
He's going to go for the spawning pool, actually. The spawning pool is now down. The last 20 lings that NesTea started are going to be the last ones he can make unless he restarts that pool, which he does. Got to be very careful against these Vikings. The economy of Heart is down to 0. This is basically a game of NesTea is pushing in here. He still has a base mining.
87 army supply for NesTea against 72 for Heart. A lot of Vikings. Only 3 Infestors left. And here we go. The Fungals are good. They hit home. The Corruptors close the distance. Take down one Viking after another.
He's desperate. He sends his SCVs in. The last Vikings are down, but there's no support for the Broodlords. He doesn't have any Infestor energy left. The Corruptors take out the Medivacs, and the Broodlords barely take out the last Marines, and I think that's going to be game.
98 is supply for NesTea with a heartbreaking performance here. Literally.
Now, Heart does have that base to the top left. It is beating, but he doesn't have any army. The last of his Marines are dying here. There's no way he can recover.
NesTea!
NesTea is a little bit vulnerable with his Broodlords out in front of this Marine force, though. He needs to target or run away.
Heart once again darting in, and this time he has a lot more luck. Takes down the last Infestor. 2 of the Broodlords already gone. The last one is able to escape. These Mutalists don't stand a chance. The Zerglings trying to catch up.
He corrupted Marines, and the Lynx come in to finish the game. That's it.
20 supply left for Heart. He's trying to build a few more Marines, but the Zerglings, they close the distance. GG!
Wow. NesTea has taken game number 1. Heart with beautiful play, great reactions, and multi-pronged harassment, but NesTea at the end of the day said, I have enough. I built an army. NesTea built an army, and that army never died. It never looked weak. He kept moving slowly but steadily across the map. You know, the turtle beats the hair in the late game.
And we expected a very close game between these two players. We expected exactly what we just saw, especially on a map like Antigua Shipyard. I love these nuances of NesTea. When he walked his queen over to the top left, he spread creep with one of his overlords on lair tech and then used a few creep tumors to block this expansion. It was beautiful, it was new, and Hart certainly was very confused when he moved out and suddenly saw creep at his third. He's like, wait a second, what's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, this is tense, man. Now the map for game number 2 is Belcher Vestige. 2-player map, relatively large. This is Hart's last chance.
Yeah, he has to win now. He has to take it.
You can only have so many heart transplants. And if he loses here, he's on his last life. NesTea may be able to do this. Big fan favorite here, coming back into Code A. Can he eliminate Hart? Hart not playing his normal style, not playing all in, not playing aggressive early on. He wanted to play in the late game. NesTea said, you know what, I'll play your game, and he won it. This is so tense, Caldor.
This is going to be really good. Vestia. Belcher Vestige.
Yes,
there we go. I'm
Vestige.
Like, and Hart is lagging.
I think we are going to have a regame here.
Both of them just waiting. Let's see if this game is going to be continued or if we have to re-host. Hart is looking at the monitor intently, just waiting for the problem to resolve itself.
Yeah, the thing is, NesTea started his drone and Hart did not in the game, and we've got 32 seconds left on the timer. It's probably going to be a regame.
Yeah, I would actually think so. Maybe even a reboot on the computer for Hart. That was definitely a very taxing game that we just had. Affected apparently the computer as well.
Yeah, and I think Hart's computer just did not connect into the game, whereas NesTea was able to start the drones that he was in, and they just said they're going to do it again. So we're going to start a new game.
Yeah, that's completely fine. So this is the last best of 3 of the day, and as mentioned before in the first round of Code A, what happens if you lose is you drop down to Code B, you have to go through the Code A qualifier once again, whereas the winner is kind of safe. If you pass this first round, even if you lose in the second or the third round, at least you are in the up and downs and you have another shot at Code S, but you will definitely be in Code A next season. So this is the one match that really, really counts.
It certainly counts. It's the most important one by far. And the second most important is round 3, where you can get straight into Code S, but it's all about baby steps, basically. And if you're new to the tournament, or if you don't normally care about the qualifiers, you just kind of watch here, do yourself a favor right now while we have this little bit of downtime and look up on Liquipedia the brackets for any Code A qualifier ever for any season of GSL. Look through that, see how many players try, see how many good players in there who cannot make it, players you've heard of. You'll be like, oh, I didn't even realize he's in Code B because he can't qualify for this tournament. It's so difficult.
I love, by the way, what we saw from NesTea. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. We've just had the WCS Global Finals, and one of the players at the Global Finals was the player with the best creep spread in the entire world, Scarlet.
Yeah.
No one reaches her creep spread. The way she uses creep is crazy, but what we saw from NesTea was new, and I love it.
Yeah.
He tried to block his opponent's third, not by just putting an overlord there and spreading creep. No, he actually uses the creep tumors. And it was brilliant because even if you scan, there are a couple of active creep tumors. The queen is actually hiding and placing new ones all the time. So that was amazing, and he completely threw Hart off guard.
Yeah, Hart definitely was denied a third base there. That affected his timings really significantly because the way you want to mine him from that base, he was, I would say, delayed probably about 2 minutes or so trying to get those tumors down. And we're all back in the game, actually, except Hart is not here yet.
I actually feel like Hart is just rebooting his PC right now.
Yeah,
it
just
makes
to be
the
safe.
most sense.
Exactly.
When you have a problem like this, it could be a problem with the client, it could be a problem, I don't know, with the internet, but in the end, you just want to make sure that it's not going to be a problem with the hardware, so being on the safe side here. Better safe than sorry, especially in a game like this, when you're already down one map, you don't want to risk anything.
Nobody, by the way, in this situation is not going to feel stressed out and pressure from this. NesTea's going to feel stressed out. He was already in the game. He started his drone. He's like mentally prepared. And then now Hart's like, I'm down a game. I got to reboot. I dropped, and it affects you mentally. You're like ready to go. You're sitting there. The map is loading, and suddenly you're like, Probably going to go through this stressful moment again.
But he's experienced enough,
Yeah.
so I don't really fear for any of them. Belchev's Teach is the map. It's loading again. Hart joined the lobby a few seconds ago. It might be the last map of the day in this Terran versus Zerg. If NesTea takes the map now, he will advance over Hart. Will win with a 2-0 and advance to the second round of Code A. For Hart, it's the last chance here. If he doesn't want to go through the Code A qualifier again, he has to win now and force a third game against the creator of the universe. The game has loaded.
It's loaded.
We are
We're in
ready?
it. No drops, no buts about it. It is up and ready to go. You guys are going to see it on screen in just a moment. Here we go. We're going to have our intro again. This is the GSL Code A. Hart is down a game. Can he tie it up? Or will NesTea not come out here on Belchev